Hello everybody. I want to talk about why we often don't do what's right. I believe that many of us know what's right. What's right is that which improves our world, but some are challenged to do what's right. What causes this disconnect? I think it centers around one specific issue. We have to give up some pleasure. Pleasure is an economic term, believe it or not, and what it really means is that it's something that you want to do, you're advantaged by it. Pleasure is a great statement. Eating chocolate is pleasure. Having a great breakfast is pleasure. There's many things in our lives that bring pleasure. My son loves to drive cars. Anytime he gets to drive a car or work on a computer or do some engineering work, that is pleasure. My daughter, shopping, hanging around with others at her college, that is pleasure for her. And to give up that pleasure would cause us, of course, displeasure. And so anything that we do that's pleasurable is something that we're going to do. When I talk about culture or getting people to do something that you want, or motivation in particular, we often talk about find out what pleasures another person and then try as best you can to give that to that person, whether it's money, whether it's position, status, recognition, whatever it is that causes them to be happy, which is another term for pleasure, is something that you want to do because it motivates that person. The same goes for doing what's right and doing what's wrong. We know what's right, just like telling the truth, but we often don't do what's right, tell a lie, because to tell a lie would give us more pleasure than to tell the truth. To tell the truth, it may hurt someone's feelings, it may expose an error or mistake that we made, and for that reason, we often move towards doing what's wrong rather than doing what's right. And as we know, anytime you do something that's not right, you have to do two things. You justify and rationalize. So when you hear somebody said, I did it because, or but, you're often hearing somebody justifying and rationalizing their behavior. You rarely have to justify or rationalize doing the right thing. It's just simply the right thing. There's a statement that says something like, do the right thing, it'll gratify some and astonish the rest. I'm not sure who said it, but it's one that I've often remembered. So, when you hear somebody justifying, rationalizing, you know they're doing something wrong. So, how can we move towards this argument or circumstance where we tend to do more right than wrong? We have to realize that if we have to give up some type of pleasure in order to do the right thing, over the longer term we'll benefit much more. Telling the truth to a customer and maybe causing them not to have the sale with you may be more beneficial over the long term because they trust and respect what you say, and they more often want to spend more time talking to somebody and spending time with somebody and shopping with somebody that they trust and respect. Losing one sale may bring a plethora of sales later in life. So knowing this concept of pleasure, knowing that the more pleasure you have to give up, the more chance somebody will do the wrong thing, when we have that in our mind, it may lead us to think and to ponder that this is going to cause me some pleasure. I'm going to have a tendency to do the wrong thing. I'm going to search for a justification and rationalization not to do what I should do. It's all about control. And once we realize that our mind, our heart, and our soul are moving in that arena to figure out how we can do the right thing, but make it sound like it's the right thing, we know instinctively that we need to reframe, reorientate our mind to say, no, what's right is right, even if no one is doing it. And that is the right thing to do. The right thing to do is always, the barometer that we should use is that which improves the world, not which improves ourselves, not which improves our family, not which improves our city, not which improves our state, not which improves our country, but our world. If you can say that the world is advanced from what you're doing, if the human race is progressing because of the decisions and actions you're taking, then that, more often than not, is the right thing, no matter how much pleasure it causes you in the short term. I hope this has been a constructive discussion, and I always hope you'll do the right thing in your life. When you look back, it'll be those right things that you did in your life, no matter what they cost you at the time, the right things that you did in your life that will cause you the most satisfaction, peace, and happiness in the way you lived your life. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the day.